nice to speak to you anyway. How are you doing today?
Yeah, good, thank you. I like your Conjurer shirt. They're a great
Yeah,
band.
representing.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I am over here in Montreal, but I am from the UK. And I have seen you guys live once. It'd be nice to have you over to Montreal, but I did catch you when you opened up for Code Orange in Nottingham.
Oh, awesome. Is that where you're from originally?
Well, I was living in Birmingham at the time, but I've been in Canada for 7 years now.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So yeah, but it'd be nice to get you guys out here at some point.
Really want to go to Canada and US. It's definitely on our agenda.
Yeah, because I think you had something planned right before the world started shutting down.
Yeah. Yeah. At least we got accepted for the visas, so we know we're allowed in. So,
Yeah, that's true. So the potential is there.
Yeah.
But I know that you've been playing again recently. How's that been?
Yeah, it's been really nice, thanks. So yeah, we played Download Festival, which was insane. It was a total baptism of fire, like 18 months of not playing shows to playing on main stage. It was pretty wild, but yeah, it was really fun. Like we were like kind of nervous and stuff before, but we kind of just had like a little conversation, being like, we might not play a show for the rest of the year. Like, you got to enjoy it and do your best because everyone's in the same boat. And yeah, it was really fun.
And how do you feel like here in Canada, things haven't opened up quite so much yet, but we are kind of getting there. How has it been, like the festival experience this summer in the UK?
Yeah, it's been really good. I've managed to go to Bloodstock Festival, which is really fun. That was like the first full festival I went into. And yeah, that was wild. That was quite, because I literally just went there as a fan to watch bands. And yeah, it was really nice to watch that. I'm trying to think where else I've been. So I went to Download for one day. There was another place we went to as well. But yeah, we've been to like loads. I've been like managing to like cram as many shows in as possible. Hence why my throat's quite husky, because I've been doing loads of nights. I'm not used to all the late nights again.
And does it feel different being at the festivals this year, or does it just feel like it was before?
It feels like the same as before. I mean, apart from the fact that we had like COVID screening and stuff before, or you had to like produce like a negative lateral flow to enter, or a vaccine passport. But apart from that, like as soon as you got your COVID-free wristband, it was pretty much, back to normal.
And when you were on stage, did you feel different this time out? Did you kind of have a different feeling being on stage after everything that's happened?
Yeah, it felt more euphoric than usual, I'd say. Like it definitely felt like kind of reinstated like why I love this. And because sometimes like you go through lockdown and you kind of get into your routine, you're like, oh, like, can I like, do I miss it? And then you go back, you're like, no, I've really missed this. Like this is definitely what I want to do. So it's been quite nice and life reaffirming in that way.
Yeah, I've actually had conversations with other people about one of the positive things that came out of lockdown is that it gave them time to think about how they wanted things to look moving forward, whether it was with their music or with their band or just with their life in general. So you obviously had time to think about that as well. And on the band side of things, did you think that you wanted to do things differently once we got out of this?
Yeah, I haven't successfully done this, but I kind of wanted to carve out more time for like chilling out and sleeping, because that was something I wasn't very good at. But alas, I've gone back to old habits, and it's so hard because I get such FOMO with shows and stuff, and I just want to try and go to as many shows as humanly possible. But unfortunately, you're only human, so
Yeah.
But apart from that, like I was quite content with everything. I think just like making sure like you have 8 hours of sleep is like the most important one, because I think not having enough sleep on tour can make you slightly psychotic.
Yeah, so this week sees the release of the new album, which is Conquering.
People said about singles, I feel like quite happy and excited about people listening to the whole thing.
Cool. And was there a catalyst moment with this album where you sort of found your path, where you decided, okay, this is where we're going to go with this album?
Yeah, it was pretty early on actually. I think it was like the first couple of demos we did, and like immediately we were just like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. Like this is like the direction we're gonna go in. Like we have like basically a whole new lineup on this record apart from myself and Sammy. So it's quite exciting actually working like with new people, and it's sort of like everyone's sort of like really fresh and like excited, and yeah, it was just quite a nice actually, because like our previous on standing members, Robbie and Rich, they're like, you know, just wanted to sort of like start families and, you know, do their own thing. So it was quite a nice sort of easy transition considering it was such a huge overhaul. So it was quite a nice way to sort of like gently end things, I guess, and
Yeah.
start anew. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So up until now, you've kind of bridged this kind of halfway point between hardcore and metal. And you know, that's something that's been that sound has been very popular over the last few years. But I've heard the new album, it seems to be leaning more towards the metal side. Was that something that you and Sammy kind of wanted to do, or was it because you brought in these new members that they had that influence?
It's something we wanted to do, and the new members definitely sort of helped like push it in that direction, like give them musical backgrounds. So that was really handy. And like, yeah, because we felt like we've done like the hardcore metal crossover quite a lot, and like in the last two records, and we're very conscious of this album like being its own thing. Because like I feel like Warmth and Eternal Formation are different albums, but they are of the similar ilk kind of thing. So with this album, we wanted it to like be a very standalone record. You know, that's like sort of like hopefully like going to be like where we're going with it. And yeah, it's been really fun to go in more metal direction. We've also had like the awkward like British band thing where, because we don't really sit anywhere, like it's always been quite hard for us to sort of do support tours and stuff like that, because we don't really technically fit anywhere because we sort of straddle so many different genres. So with this one, it's quite nice to sort of be a bit like not clear cut and like that we're like by numbers, but we're a bit more metal, so we can kind of like please the sort of more metal crowds a bit more. And yeah, and it's just something we wanted to do anyway. So yeah, hopefully it'll have a knock-on effect and it'll be easier for us to fit in somewhere.
Yeah. So what would your ideal situation be? What would be the perfect tour for you to get on?
I mean, the Gajura and Alien Weaponry tour couldn't be more perfect, to be honest. Like, yeah, Gajura is like a band we've always wanted to tour with, and I feel like they're like a perfect sort of band for us, like in terms of where we'd love to be, like when we're like years and years into our career, or at least like sort of like, you know, sort of similar sounding bands. So yeah, I'm really excited. And I saw Alien Weaponry at Hellfest when we played, and yeah, they're incredible. So I think it's gonna be a really good tour. But yeah, just like bands like that, or like, you know, we'd love to tour with bands like Trivium and you know, Machine Head, like the kind of like early Roadrunner bands, or like or Lamb of God, like like Creator, are the sort of more like metal bands. Like we'd love to tour with them.
Okay, so I want to go back a little bit with your musical journey. What was the first music that you remember listening to as a kid?
Oh, well, really early on, I was really into like boy bands and girl bands, and I really liked. So I liked NSYNC. So naturally, I went into Justin Timberlake. He is NSYNC, isn't he? Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And then yeah, Spice Girls, and that quickly kind of went on to like more guitar-based music, like Red Hot Chili Peppers, and like bands that sort of like my family would listen to that wasn't like too heavy. And then yeah, from there I kind of got really into like Kerrang and Metal Hammer, and picking that up each week or well, month of Metal Hammer. And I'd kind of just go through all like the reviews, and I'd like have like a little like buy list on CDs, because that's back when they were like £20, and I'd get like one every few months, or like for birthdays and Christmases. And yeah, I just used to live on Scuzz and Kerrang TV, and just yeah, like write down all the little bands I want, or try and like get compilation CDs. So yeah, like it's a lot different now, isn't it? Actually, it makes it
is a lot different. And like these days, when you have the whole world of music at your fingertips, are you still somebody who sits down and listens to albums from front to back?
I'm trying to get better at it. Like I've started like deliberately putting it directly on my phone instead of Spotify, because Spotify I find is really good for discovering new music, but sometimes I get a bit flitty with sort of like listening to stuff. But yeah, like I find like I also buy vinyl, because that's a really good way of sort of just listening to an album, because it's hassle getting out of your chair to change it all the time, so you end up just listening to the whole thing. So yeah, like I'm not as good as I was when I was younger, because I literally used to sort of like, because I could only have like a CD every like now and then, I'd learn all the lyrics and everything like that. I think you are just a bit more fanatical. I didn't have a job obviously back then as well, because I was a kid. So so yeah, like you just had more time after school, didn't you? So yeah, like I'm definitely still like fanatical, but like not to the level I was when I was younger.
So when it comes to putting your own album together, how much emphasis do you put on the track listing and the flow of the album?
Oh, a lot. Like we try and like structure it as a whole. Like it's like all of our albums are intended to be listened to as a whole. And yeah, like we scrutinize over like the first and last songs, and just try and like we like really like spend a lot of time like making sure that everything flows, you know, how it should, basically.
Okay. And obviously you're involved in Church Road Records now as well. How is it different putting out your own album to looking after everybody else's albums?
So I'm a lot more involved, because ETS used to be on like the label I worked at, but couple like, since like Eternal Forward Motion, we've been with Spine Farm Records, so like I don't actually do like the nitty gritty bits of releasing an album anymore. So it's quite nice like doing that for other bands. I didn't really like doing it for my own band, to be honest, because I kind of agonized a bit too much over stuff. Obviously, like I do the same with like new bands, but I think you second guess yourself more when it's your own band, and it's harder to make decisions and things because you're too invested. Whereas with like other people's bands, like I just love, like, especially when we work with sort of like newer bands, sort of like bands in their first EP and stuff, and you get them their first like radio coverage, or they get covered in Kerrang or like Metal Hammer for the first time, and they're really stoked. So it's really nice to sort of like kind of see that excitement, and you know, because it kind of makes you like remain humble and stuff, I feel, as well, because it makes you kind of realize how cool it all is. So yeah, like it's nice, and just helping people like achieve their bucket list stuff with their bands it's very rewarding. And I don't think I could ever work outside the music industry as well, because I'm so invested in it. So I'm just grateful to not have to work in retail like I used to.
Okay.
Soul destroying retail.
Yeah, I think we've all been there at one point or another. Like
it's a rite of passage, isn't it? When you
I used to work in a record store in Birmingham as well for a little while. But obviously you're spending a lot of time kind of trying to discover new talent as part of your other job. What bands have you discovered during lockdown when we've had a bit more time to kind of listen to stuff that you've been excited about?
Oh, I'll choose ones that I haven't worked with. I really like this band called IRES. I think they are from...
Oh, is it IRESS?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, I think I was listening to them last week. Is it a female singer?
Yes, yeah, it's them. I don't think it says where they're from, but like, yeah, they're like incredible. I've listened to them so much over lockdown. They're sort of like the part of the sort of, I guess, doom gaze kind of, like, yeah, lots of layer guitars, incredible vocals, and moody. So it's like really good for like autumn and winter listening. Yeah, I really like them. I have to cheat and look at my current listening. I'll do a non-metal adjacent one. I'll do so New Dad. So they're from, I think, Belfast. And they're like part of this sort of like little sort of they're kind of in the same kind of like scene as Just Mustard, I think. They're kind of like this noise rock indie kind of band, and I really like them. They've got like super catchy, I suppose, like they kind of also straddle the dream pop genre as well.
Okay.
But yeah, they're really cool. I've listened to them a lot, especially over the summer, even though we haven't had much of a summer. It's been kind of grey, but I've been listening to it over the summer months.
Right. And in your lifetime, is there one album that you think you've listened to more than any other?
Oh, probably Life is Peachy by Korn.
Is that an album you still listen to regularly now?
Oh yeah, like all the time. Like when I'm pre-drinking, or like, yeah, just like it's like Friday evening, like at the home office kind of tune. Or like I love Korn so much. They're like, Korn and Slipknot are like my two, and Deftones actually. They're kind of like the three bands I listen to the most, I think. I try to like put them on the back burner sometimes, because like otherwise I won't listen to new music, and that's really unhealthy. So yeah, I have like kind of Korn hours and stuff. But yeah, Life is Peachy is my favorite album. Self-Titled's good, but I think Life is Peachy is the best.
Yeah. And what about music that's completely removed from the genre that you're known for? Like, what do you listen to when you chill out, or do you have any like pop albums or something like that that you really love?
Oh yeah, like so basically I love Ninja Tune Records.
Nice.
They have like Bonobo and cinematic orchestra things on them. So I listen to loads of soundtracky kind of stuff. I'd love to see Bonobo live. They're like, that's probably like one of the newer artists I listen to the most as well, because I just love having like when I've got like a sort of very, what's the word, brain heavy kind of like task to do at work. I kind of put Bonobo on. It's like perfect. I listen to
I actually saw Bonobo play here in Montreal, and they had the full band. So they had like about 15 people on stage, and it was a beautiful thing.
yeah, well, he just puts so much into his VJ sets as well, and like I love how he treats like the artwork and stuff as an extension of the music, and really like everything's so well thought out and packaged. Like all the vinyl as well, like incredible as well, like always like really high quality. So I love buying that. I listen to a lot of like I listen to hip hop, listen to like Blah records and High Focus records who are from Hove. So they've got quite a cool like scene. They've got like Leaf Dog and like artists like that, well rappers like that. So they're really good. I'm trying to think what pop music. I'm quite guilty. Actually, no, I listen to a lot of Leanne La Harvest. I think that's basically
I love Leanne. Yeah.
Yeah, her like last record is incredible. And another one is I've been listening to a lot is Yasmin Lacey. So she's got this sort of kind of soulful, she kind of reminds me of sort of early Erykah Badu. And like the drum sounds are incredible on it as well. So yeah, it's really good. Like there's loads of good music at the minute. But yeah, I try to sort of like I kind of listen to different genres at different points of the day. So yeah, they're quite handy to sort of go to. I like deep diving on record labels as well. So yeah, I do that a lot.
So what's a label that you've been loving recently?
So I have loads of Death Wish phases. So what I do is I go to a label and I find them on Bandcamp, and I go to the very bottom and I work my way through every single release. So I've been working my way through the first 20 Death Wish releases at the moment. That's quite fun. Wow. And I'm going to do it probably with Relapse and then $20 spin and then do that basically.
All right. Thanks again, Justine. And hopefully we'll see you in a sweaty room with lots of people at some point soon.
Yes, please. That'd be great. Cool. Catch you soon. Thank you.
All right. Cheers.